truth, and the absolute laws of nature, for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. The divine mind knows, the divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. Salute, salute. Mateen Cleves, what's good? Philly's in the building. What's going on? Yes, I know. I know it's Sunday. Yes, I know. About 24 hours delayed. But I'm here. I'm here. And we gonna get Saturday night book club popping on a Sunday night. Sade, what's going on? How you doing out there in the Lone Star? What's going on with you? Everybody, got your joints? Do you have your joints? Do you have your books? Angel, salute. What's good? What's good? Yeah. Aww. Uncle Murder, salute. You have COVID. Do you have your Gatorade? Huh? Do you have your Gatorade? Do you have your fluids? Do you have your fresh ginger and garlic in your broth and cayenne? You dig what I'm saying? You have to maintain. All right? Do you still have your fever? Salute to here. What's your fever? What's your fever? That's how you know you'll break it. Rick, salute. Once you under 100, then you know you're clearing. You understand? Make sure you keep the kids away from you as well. Right? Quarantine inside your bedroom as much as possible. T, what's up? Bernadette, peace, salute, salute. Felita, salute, salute. Again, this is Saturday night book club on a Sunday. Okay, Sade, no fever. Well, a smell and a taste you won't, or you can. Okay, so you getting there. Speedy recovery. Again, hydrate as much as possible. Do what you do. Ryan, what up? Ken, what up? I'm in Ross. Salute. Damn, what up, Ron? Salute, salute. Again, this is Sunday. Even though it's Sunday evening, it's still Saturday night book club. Was definitely trapped up. Yesterday was no way I was able to do it unless it would have been at midnight, and I think that would have been a great disservice to us on the East Coast. West Coast would have loved it, you know, but everybody on the East Coast, nah. Again, I appreciate all the moderators coming through. I appreciate the tribe. I definitely appreciate those who made many different suggestions for different ways to expand the content on this YouTube space right here. So be on the lookout for the all-female space in this channel. All right? Ask a Man is coming through. All right? So be prepared. Have your questions, have your topics, anything you would like to discuss. So females, queens, queen comrades. All right? And it's not going to be far off. This is going to be in the very near future. It's going to be a thumbnail I'm going to post, and you're going to know. All right? You're going to know. So, again, let's get it in. Wretched of the Earth, page 42. And as always, when you come in, share, start letting the tribe know that we here, we active. All right? Hey, brown girl, let them know we here, we active, we getting it popping. Remember, I'm very, very, very unpredictable. I have a lot of work to do, a lot of work. So if scheduling shifts, it is what it is. Y'all know where to find me. Okay, we left off at page 42. Ooh, and I know we ruffled some feathers. We definitely did. We're going to continue to ruffle feathers. We're going to continue to challenge our inherited belief systems. Remember, what century are we in? What century are we in? Somebody hit me. What century are we in? Let's talk about it. So a lot of those beliefs, a lot of those institutions, and the ways and actions, the behaviors in which we manifest our being is definitely dated, inherited, right? And for centuries, we never challenged it. Okay? Some of us were able to survive in it. Some of us slept through it. Some of us have turmoil because we awoke and have awoken. And once you put them glasses on, once you eat that pill, there's no turning back. So we definitely going to challenge people here. All right? So let's get down with the get down. Okay? Salute, salute, Michael. Salute. And again, everyone, we wish y'all day a speedy recovery. All right? Keep telling y'all all be safe out here. It's not a game. Peace, Shimes. Mr. Max, salute. Oh, you in Costa Rica. Okay, Michael, do your thing. They got some weird insects down there. Don't get bit in your ass down there, all right? They got some weird looking shit. Shit snap you all up in your grippers, boy. I seen some wild looking insects down there. I seen people come back and show pictures. Oh, what kind of bug is that? So watch your grippers down there. Don't be laying on the beach thinking shit is sweet. All right? Trust and believe, it goes down. It goes down in Costa Rica. All right? You dig? Okay. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let's begin, y'all. Second paragraph, page 42, Wretched of the Earth. All right? At times, this manichaeism goes to its logical conclusion and dehumanizes the native. Or, to speak plainly, it turns him into an animal. In fact, the terms the settler uses when he mentions the native are zoological terms. He speaks of the yellow man's reptilian motions, or the stink of the native quarter, of breeding swarms, of foulness, of spawn, of gesticulations. When the settler seeks to describe the native fully in exact terms, he constantly refers to the bestiary, right? The European, and sometimes this is triggering y'all, so you gotta excuse me. The European rarely hits on a picturesque style, but the native, who knows what is in the mind of the settler, guesses at once what he is thinking of. Those hordes of vital statistics, those hysterical masses, those faces bereft of all humanity, those distended bodies which are like nothing on earth, that mob without beginning or end, those children who seem to belong to nobody, that laziness stretched out in the sun, that vegetative rhythm of life, all this forms part of the colonial vocabulary. General de Gaulle speaks of the yellow multitudes, and Francois Marouet of the black, brown, and yellow masses which soon will be unleashed. Unleashed. The native knows all this and laughs to himself every time he spots an allusion to the animal world in the other's words. For he knows that he is not an animal, and it is precisely at that moment he realizes his humanity that he begins to sharpen the weapons with which he will secure its victory. Now, I was just pondering on this earlier today, and I think I'll save it for a build when I'm with the comrade, because he consistently gets people in his chat that have a specific belief in sovereignty. And I always challenge people when they say that. What is sovereignty? Better yet, what is the origin of the word sovereignty? And how does that apply to you? So when we see this and we speak, or Fanon speaks on how the colonizer views, right, those natives, and speaks of them in terms of animals, of beasts, we have to always remember us here, right? Again, I'm going to always go back to Dred Scott, where we were considered by law 3/5 of a man. Now that's deep, very deep, because if you're 3/4 of a man and they already consider you a beast, then you have to ask yourself, have you ever met any beasts, animals with sovereignty anywhere? You never have, you never will. Animals don't claim sovereignty. Animals just exist. And because we have the ability to think, to ration, rationalize, right? At some point, to recall, to have memory, to have foresight. That's what separates us from the beast. But if you continue to allow others, their language, their description, to hold precedence over you, or you make an attempt to use those descriptions when it comes to matters of the self, you will always lose. Which is why you never have sovereignty. Because who? Again, what man can place borders on you, can place belief systems on you, if you recognize that you are a universal being of truth, that you exist to grow, to seek, to acknowledge the sun, the moon, the stars, the science of nature, mathematics. There's no man who should ever be able or that you would allow to have power and authority over you when they are just like you. Arm, legs, arm, and head. Bleed and everything. And this is the problem when it comes to colonizer, colonized, oppressor, those who are oppressed, master slave, boss, employee. If you don't have the true awareness of self and learn to define yourself in the manifestation of who you are, you will always lose. You will always lose. And that is why there's no gaining of ground. Because the only way you can gain ground with people who believe that they dominate is through war. Is to take away the prestige and the false image that they have within themselves to be all powerful and dominate. You can't bow down. You can't sit and bargain and barter with because you're coming from a position of weakness. How can a dog barter with you? Can't. You walk them when you feel like walking. You feed them when you feel like feeding them. A bird, a parrot, a pet turtle. These are beasts. They have no power to barter with you. They cannot communicate in English with you. So therefore, you have complete dominance over whether or not they live. That is what the oppressor does. That is what the colonizer does. So you can sit here and fool yourself into believe that you have a doctrine that says that you're a sovereign, or you can fight for that and you think that that will be your key, but you don't speak the language that they speak in. They give you books and words, they give you constitutions, but it doesn't mean anything. And go in a court of law and it will show you that what you see, what you comprehend, and what you interpret, only because this is what you assume they taught you as a proper way to speak, doesn't mean what it says. So what is sovereign? What is a sovereignty? Based on what they consider. So you still lose until you withdraw from all of that. Understand that? Because they consider you beast. They consider you a beast. Let's continue. As soon as the native begins to pull on his moorings and to cause anxiety to the settler, he is handed over to well-meaning souls who, in cultural congresses, point out to him the specific triggering, specificity, specificity. You see how I'm going through it, right? Right? And wealth of Western values. Which is why I say this book club is going to be phenomenal. It's going to take you through some mental gymnastics. It's going to be hard to breathe. Breathe, right? Specific. You see this? Specificity of wealth and Western values. But every time Western values are mentioned, they produce in the native a sort of stiffening or muscular lockjaw, as you can see, because it gets here to where you look and say, how dare you, when you understand, which is the meaning of publishing, right? Record contracts publishing, right? Athletic contracts, right? Drafts, MBAs and trades and all this other shit. You understand? Which diminishes your humanity. During the period of decolonization, the natives' reason is appealed to. Appeal to you. Well, take this 50 million for 7 years. Take this 50 million for 7 years, man. Yeah, now your family be in a nice home. Right? You have all the chicken you want. Yeah, no, we give you sneakers with your name on it, too. You get a little piece of that. Oh, don't worry about that invention. That invention, right, this invention that you created is going to change the lives of almost everybody on the planet. But no, this is your home. You see these 20 bedrooms? That's yours. Don't worry about what we're going to make over here. You'll be well taken care of. Appeal to the reasoning. He is offered definite values. He is told frequently that decolonization need not mean regression, and that he must put his trust in qualities which are well tried, solid, and highly esteemed. See what I keep telling you? Now, don't worry about the bag. No. We can march. No, we can protest. No, we can talk. We don't have to go through the true liberation process. We don't have to go through that. No. We can keep this intact. No, just settle down. Listen from that. And from who you hear that. Keep telling you. You are priceless. There is no value they can put on you. There's no reparation that they can give you for the loss of life, the loss of blood, the loss of potential for a millennia of your people. There's no reparation for that. All right? Come on now. But it so happens that when a native hears a speech about Western culture, he pulls out his knife. Or at least, he makes sure it is within reach. All the time. All the time. The violence with which the supremacy of white values is affirmed, and the aggressiveness which has permeated the victory of these values over the ways of life and of thought of the native mean that, in revenge, the native laughs in mockery when Western values are mentioned in front of him. In the colonial context, the settler only ends his work of breaking in the native when the latter admits loudly and intelligibly the supremacy of the white man's values. In the period of decolonization, the colonized masses mock at these very values, insult them, and vomit them up. So, right? The native should never, ever seek value from, seek appraisal from, or look for acceptance from that Euro dynamic, especially when it comes to beauty, eyelashes, right? BBLs, right? Tight fitted shirts, slacks, and the grip is funny tight ties. None of which come from us or are manufactured by us. We didn't look like that. We didn't dress like that. So when you have those who say they are successful, when they come in this attire, when they speak in this diction, you know where they at. The colonizer, massa, sits deep in their brain, deep in their heart, deep in their grippers. They want that Euro in their seat. They want to pleasure that Euro. When the conditions of oppression, which include miseducation, poverty, substance abuse, right? Unemployment, bad health care systems, and all those, the construct of your life, and you're looking for relief, the first instances of relief is join us because you can't beat us. That's a heavy psychological load. People can't come back from that. And that's when they start the cooning, the tarming. It is what it is. No getting around it. It's simple science, simple mathematics. This phenomenon is ordinarily masked because during the period of decolonization, certain colonized intellectuals have begun a dialogue with the bourgeoisie of the colonialist country. During this phase, the indigenous population is discerned only as an indistinct mass. The few native personalities whom the colonialist bourgeois have come to know here and there have not sufficient influence on that immediate discernment to give rise to nuances. On the other hand, during the period of liberation, the colonialist bourgeoisie looks feverishly for contacts with the elite, and it is with these elite that the familiar dialogue concerning values is carried on. The colonialist bourgeoisie, when it realizes that it is impossible for it to maintain its domination over the colonial countries, decides to carry out a rearguard action with regard to culture, values, techniques, and so on. Huh? So as you believe that the messages in hip hop, the messages in rhythm and blues, the messages in pop music are an accident, you're wrong. If you think wearing of dresses is an accident by men, it is wrong. If you think over sexuality, the clapping of behind cheeks in your face on a daily basis is an accident, you are wrong. If you think and believe that the separation between the generations is an accident, you are wrong. You could call them conspiracy theorists, you can call them whatever you want to call them. There is an agenda that is intelligently placed in culture. All right? Now, what we must never forget is that the immense majority of colonized peoples is oblivious to these problems. Sleep, sheeple, right? Come on now. Come on. So now you're seeing, you're getting a view, getting a little piece, again, of how learned, educated, committed I am. I'm telling you, this is nothing you haven't heard me said time and time again over the years. Okay? All right? You ain't woke, something wrong. And if you're woke and deceiving the people, you're just an enemy. All right? Come on now. Come on, stay here. Stay with me. I can feel it. I'm getting a little hot. Getting a little bothered up under here. I understand. Getting a little deep, right? Yeah, I know. For a colonized people, the most essential value become the most concrete. All right? Because the most concrete. Get started again. For colonized people, the most essential value, because the most concrete, is first and foremost the land. The land which will bring them bread and above all dignity. But this dignity has nothing to do with the dignity of the human individual. For the human individual has never heard tell of it. All that the native has seen in his country is that they can freely arrest him, beat him, starve him, and no professor of ethics, no priest has ever come to be beaten in his place, nor to share their bread with him. As far as the native is concerned, morality is very concrete. It is to silence the settler's defiance, to break his flaunting violence, in a word, to put him out of the picture. Is it too much? Do you see yourself? Do you see your enemy? Is it too much? All right? Don't get mad at the educator. Don't get mad at the comrade. Because now you're looking at these individuals in a different light. Now Beyonce ain't so cute, huh? Now Jay ain't so cute, huh? Right? Lizzo ain't so funny now, huh? Right? Braun ain't such a great individual. Again, I'm just opening. I'm just making sure your glasses are not stained, that they clear. You did can't never say nobody told you, right? The well-known principle that all men are equal will be illustrated in the colonies from the moment that the native claims that he is the equal of the settler. One step more, and he is ready to fight to be more than the settler. In fact, he has already decided to eject him and to take his place. As we see it, it is a whole maternal and moral universe which is breaking up. The intellectual, who, for his part, has followed the colonialists with regard to the universal abstract, will fight in order that the settler and the native may live together in peace in a new world. That's the intellectual. That's the conscious. These are the ones I keep telling you have to watch these black demons who don't want you to be a free thinker. Be mindful of that. Salute, D-Man, salute. But the thing he does not see, precisely because he is permeated by colonialism and all its ways of thinking, is that the settler, from the moment that the colonial context disappears, has no longer any interest in remaining or in coexisting. It is not by chance that, even before any negotiation between the Algerian and French governments has taken place, the European minority, which calls itself liberal, has already made its position clear. It demands nothing more nor less than twofold citizenship. By setting themselves apart in an abstract manner, the liberals try to force the settler into taking a very concrete jump into the unknown. Let us admit it, the settler knows perfectly well that no phraseology can be a substitute for reality. Now I just call it how I see it. Again, let's not get tripped up. We're in the 21st century now. These are principles of thought, of condition from the 20th century. However, us here as a people have remained in a constant circle of cycles of revolution, revolving. That's what a revolution is. It revolves. Which is why it never seems that we're getting ahead. Because as they implement the same institutions and the same strategies and the same repression, fear, terror, arrest, murders, and those who are conscious and woke make these decisions to fight, to organize. It keeps revolving because you're still in a space where you're working, where you're living, where you're allowing the labels of your oppressor to stand tall and firm. In order to get off and get out of that wheel, you have to implement something new and audacious and behave as such, or to happen again. And it cannot happen in the 21st century any longer. We are being led by people who inherited a beastly way of life and passing on our trauma and our reactions from these beasts onto another generation. We are wrong for that. We will meet our demise in that. How can we feel good doing that? We're in a space now that our children cannot connect to their humanity, because from the time they can develop an understanding, a thought, and an awareness of where they are, you forcing technology in their hands. No wonder why a 13-year-old can kick and rob a 6-year-old girl for a scooter. They have no empathy. They have no sympathy. They have no way to rationalize that, because they're not being educated properly. That is not their fault. That is on the adults. Children come into this space as children. They don't know any more, they don't know any less. It is the adults, through experience, through themes, through education and learning, knows the difference. And when you fail, when you give up, when you stand down to the bullshit, that is on you. Not on your enemies, not on the children, but those who claim to know better. Those who walk, who have seen, who have witnessed. How are we going to proceed? Where are we going to move? Because they are here. We are here. That is awareness of self. That is the liberating mindset. There is no way that we should still be governed by this bullshit. No way. Thus, the native discovers that his life, his breath, his beating heart are the same as those of the settler. He finds out that the settler's skin is not of any more value than a native's skin. And it must be said that this discovery shakes the world in a very necessary manner. All the new revolutionary assurance of the native stems from it. For if, in fact, my life is worth as much as the settler's, his glance no longer shrivels me up nor freezes me, and his voice no longer turns me into stone. I am no longer on tenterhooks in his presence. In fact, I don't give a damn for him. Not only does his presence no longer trouble me, but I am already preparing such efficient ambushes for him that soon there will be no way out but that of flight. Own your labor. Own your potential to be greater. Own who you claim you are. I hear a lot. I hear I'm a child of God. I hear I'm a God-fearing person. I hear I'm a king. I hear I'm a queen. Own it. You cannot relinquish the authority of who you are or who you claim you are to someone who doesn't see you as such. That should always be a consistent fight. Can't front for me. I know better. I've been telling you who you are. I'm not coming with no false doctrines. Come with science and math, articulation, comprehension, manifestation. Telling you who you are. Showing and proving. But you want to tell me about water bills, car notes, promotions and shit, vacations and all that shit. What is that? What is that to a God? Talking about a mortgage on a home. When the universe is your home. We have said that the colonial context is characterized by the dichotomy which it imposes upon the whole people. Decolonization unifies that people by the radical decision to remove from its heterogeneity homogeneity. See, excuse me, hold up. Homogeneity, right? Hold on, let me get this shit dry. And by unifying it on a national, sometimes a racial basis. We know the fierce words of the Senegalese patriots, referring to the maneuvers of their president, Senghor. We have demanded that the higher posts should be given to Africans. And now Senghor is Africanizing the Europeans. That is to say that the native can see clearly and immediately if decolonization has come to pass or not, for his minimum demands are simply that the last shall be first. But the native intellectual brings variance to this petition. And in fact, he seems to have good reasons. Hire civil servants, technicians, specialists, all seem to be needed. Now, the ordinary native interprets these unfair promotions as so many acts of sabotage, and he is often heard to declare it wasn't worthwhile. Then our becoming independent. See, this is the games that they play. These are the games that they fought. Same games go on now. Oh, blacks can't teach. Blacks can't educate. Blacks are not good head coaches in football or basketball because they don't understand. They don't understand. This is the same game, whether you are native to a specific space or indigenous to a specific land, location on some part of the planet, or through chattel slavery, you've been shipped somewhere else, which is why they never deem us natives here. Understand? They still, to this day, don't give the indigenous what they want to look at as Native Americans title. Because again, there has been no colonization process over here. There was total wipeout and annihilation, and then chattel slavery. So they brought us as worker bees, some of us, and others who were here, indigenous to the land, they wiped out and created different layers and buffers and definitions and terms and scattered, skewed realities of history and what actually took place. Right? But they do the same shit here. No. You're not astute enough to be a scientist or a real educator because you're black. They're not saying that you don't have the ability to do it, but when they say blacks can't teach, what they're saying is blacks can't teach other blacks how to be slaves. It takes the beast to do that. You gotta read between the lines. They're not saying that. They know you're intellectually capable because you're past every test. You've earned every degree. You fixed every motor. You built every rocket. But what they know is that you don't have, on a mass scale, you got a few motherfuckers who can, but you, as a group of people, cannot teach your people how to bow down and cower effectively. So no, you're not deemed the best professor because you cannot teach your people. Misinformation, miseducation, and misdirection. It's not in you to do that. You love your kind too much. You can never be the best judge. You can never be the best entrepreneur because you don't know how to cheat your people. You don't know how to slam that hammer down and give somebody 300 years consistently because it's going to pull at your heartstrings, at your mind, at your being, at your soul. So we gotta listen when they telling you shit and stop challenging it. No, we don't get the same treatment as they do when it comes to law and order. No. Stop looking for it. You want to be in an equal space with the devil. And when you yearn and seek that, you diminish your power. Can't. When they telling you can't, you right. I can't be devil because I'm God. And at that point is when you start pulling out of the system and recognizing who you are. Huh? I'm saying, I don't come to bullshit. I don't come to bullshit. In the colonial countries where a real struggle for freedom has taken place, where the blood of the people has flowed, and where the length of the period of armed warfare has favored the backward surge of intellectuals toward bases grounded in the people, we can observe a genuine eradication of the superstructure built by these intellectuals from the bourgeois colonialist environment. The colonialist bourgeoisie, in its narcissistic dialogue, expounded by the members of its universities, had in fact deeply implanted in the minds of the colonized intellectual that the essential qualities remain eternal in spite of all the blunders men may make. The essential qualities of the West, of course. The native intellectual accepted the cogency of these ideas. And deep down in his brain, you could always find a vigilant sentinel ready to defend the Greco-Latin pedestal. Greeks, sorrows, fraternities, Freemasons, Greco-Latin pedestals. Now, it so happens that during the struggle for liberation, at the moment that the native intellectual comes into touch again with his people, this artificial sentinel is turned into dust when you come home. When you come home, all the Mediterranean values, the triumph of the human individual, of clarity and of beauty, becomes lifeless, colorless knickknacks. All values which seemed to uplift the soul are revealed as worthless, simply because they have nothing to do with the concrete conflict in which the people is engaged. The fucking beauty of being woke and conscious and active seeks no reward but reparations and blood. Man, that's it. That's it for the night. That's it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if you're not ready for this, go somewhere. Go somewhere. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. I'm telling you. Don't come over here bullshitting. Don't come over here bullshitting. You got these young Euros armed to the teeth, sitting in Chicago, armed up, trying to kill our babies. Don't come over here bullshitting. I'm not the one for it. It's go time. It's now time. If you feel the weak and the faint of heart, you can't fuck with me over here. You got to go. Go and giggle and shit with Tariq. Go play grab ass with Umar. Go throw rocks and all that other shit with the pills. Don't come fucking over here with me. If you weak, it's not playtime. Not at all. This is for concrete, solid individuals. This is where we at with it. This is where we at with it. Come over here with that shit. Trust and believe. This shit is being shook up. This is being shook up. And if you don't have the awareness of self, if you don't think like a scientific liberator, you're going to get smashed in this. Piss on your doctrines. Straight up. This is about war. This ain't about none of that other shit. We ain't playing over here. We're not looking for trinkets. We're not looking for nothing less. We want free. That's it. That's it. So better late than never. Saturday night book club kicked off on a Sunday. I love my people. Don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Salute to all the mods. Salute to all my tribe. You have everything you need to free yourself. You have everything you need to free yourself. Nothing that they can give you, no institution that you can learn from is stronger than what you already have in here. Unlock it, and move on it. Move on it. Move on it. Peace.